you ever noticed how horror games always know exactly when to breathe down your neck? And what if I told you your ears are being manipulated the entire time? And it's not random, it's science. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into how horror games trick your ears into feeling fear long before your brain even catches up. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Alibi, an audio engineer and sound designer who willingly subjects himself to horror media for entertainment purposes. And today we're going to be exploring one of the most powerful tools in horror games, sound. Because believe it or not, horror games rely on audio way more than visuals to make you panic. Your ears are basically running a survival simulation before you even know why you're scared. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how developers weaponize psychoacoustics, brain science, and proper sound design to terrify you. Let's start with the simple truth. Your ears are wired for fear. Faster than your eyes, faster than your logic. It's just primal, prehistoric, run now and think later instincts. According to neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux, threat-related sounds take what's called the low road through the brain. This shortcut routes straight to the amygdala, the emotional panic button. So whenever you hear a whisper behind you in phasmophobia, or footsteps in alien isolation, your body reacts subconsciously before you consciously process anything. Heart spikes, muscles tighten, breath shortens, all from a single sound. That's why developers use directional cues, creaking floors, skittering claws, distant growls, long before you see any monsters. Your instincts do half the work for them. Now we dive into the nasty stuff, psychoacoustics, the study of how certain sounds physically and psychologically mess with your brain, and indie developers and AAA developers love this playground. First, we're going to start off with infrasound, or audio below 20 Hz. Now, you can't consciously hear it, but your body will feel it. It'll cause feelings of dread, nausea, unease. Games like Silent Hill 2 used low-frequency drones to make players feel anxious for really no other reason than they can do it and it works. Second, we're going to go into non-linear sounds. Sounds like metal scraping, screeching violins, animalistic roars. These are chaotic signals our brain associates with danger. A study by Daniel Blumstein found that humans react strongly to non-linear noise because it resembles distress calls in nature. Next, we're going to talk about the shepherd tone. It's an audio illusion where pitch endlessly rises but will never resolve. It creates tension that will never fully release. Games like Dread Halls and films like Dunkirk use it to raise your anxiety without you even noticing. Next, we're going to discuss quiet, quiet, loud. Think Outlast PT. It'll weaponize silence and then suddenly break it. That unpredictability is psychological violence, and 9 times out of 10 it works. Alright, now let's talk spatial audio, or 3D sound. Games use HRTF, or head-related transfer functions, to make sounds feel like they're coming from specific directions. Behind you, above you, left ear, right ear. When Senua hears voices in Hellblade, Ninja Theory used actual binaural microphone recordings. This makes the voices invade your personal space. And when a horror game whispers behind your ear with headphones on, it's not just a sound. It's a violation of your spatial boundaries, and your brain will treat that as a real presence. Next, we're going to get into environmental storytelling through sound. Now, horror audio isn't just about scares. It's about world building and preparing your brain to panic later. Developers use techniques like sound masking, diegetic and non-diegetic blending, acoustic shadows, and many other things. Quick side tangent. Sound masking. A constant hum, drone, or wind noise that hides subtle monster cues, make you feel uneasy, and it distracts you a little bit from what could be coming your way. Diegetic versus non-diegetic blending. Games might blur the line between what the character hears and what you hear. Think of like save rooms in Resident Evil. Safe sounds in an unsafe world. Now, acoustic shadows. Sound changes behind walls or in tight corridors. Your brain will reconstruct the space through the sound before you visually understand it. It's like echolocation in a way. Section 5. Predictive coding and jump scares. Now, the human brain loves patterns. It's constantly trying to predict what will come next, whether that be with rhythms, melody, or ambient loops. Horror sabotages that system. Now, according to neuroscientist Carl Friston, when your brain's prediction gets broken, it triggers a spike in attention and adrenaline. So developers love to use broken rhythms, delayed stingers, anti-melodies, and irregular looping. Why? Because when your brain tries to anticipate the next sound and horror games say no, you get the jump scare effect before anything actually visually jumps. Moving on to silence, unironically the most terrifying sound. A 2016 study in psychology of music found that 2 minutes of silence increased relaxation more than calming music. But in horror, silence does not feel peaceful. It feels like the world is holding its breath. When PT goes dead quiet before a hallway reset, when amnesia drops all ambience except for your heartbeat, when the repo hum suddenly cuts out, your brain goes into a biological red alert. Silence will force your imagination to generate the danger for you, and your imagination is way worse than anything a developer could model. So if you, yes you, want to listen like an audio engineer, or if you just want to ruin horror media for yourself by knowing all the trade secrets, here's what you got to pay attention to. Any low frequency rumbles that might make you anxious for, legitimately no reason. Any moments where ambience suddenly will drop out. Any non-linear, screechy, or chaotic sounds. Whispers that might move around in your head if you're playing with headphones on. Any shepherd tones, building tension without a foreseeable payoff. Or environmental drones, masking something else hiding beneath. Once you hear these tricks, congratulations, you can't unhear them. You're now cursed with audio literacy. Sound is the invisible puppeteer of horror. It controls your fear, your heartbeat, your imagination, and sometimes your dignity. If you enjoyed this semi-deep dive into how horror games hijack your ears, drop a like, sub, come hang out with me live. I stream horror games here sometimes. But yeah, new video format. Probably going to be doing some more stuff like this, so if you like it, leave a comment. If you don't. Anyways, about it outros. Bye.